So, all right, everyone, it's 11 o'clock. Let's just go ahead and start. Good morning, and thank you all for joining this Alaska Seeds of Change webinar hosted by the Resource Basket here at Rural Alaska Community Action Program, or Rural CAP for short. My name is Laura Knapp, and I am the Community Outreach Support Personnel and the web developer for the Resource Basket team. Today, we'll just go ahead and kick things off with an introduction of the Resource Basket, followed by a presentation from our guest presenter, Ryan Witten, from the Alaska Seeds of Change program. And then we'll conclude our webinar with Q&As for the presenter. Rural CAP has many programs, and one of them is the Resource Basket. Our mission aims to reduce delinquency by supporting Alaska Native communities and service providers as they grow healthy, successful, and culturally connected Alaska Native youth. We offer an array of services where you have the opportunity to explore and access a network of youth-serving partners and tribal organizations. We provide online trainings and resources. These include webinars like this one, or website links for information sharing and electronic handouts. Distance support is always available by phone and email. We offer statewide and regional training. If you have a training you'd like to offer, please go ahead and fill out a training request form via our Resource Basket website. Our community-based training and technical assistance program is here to support you with your role as a professional working with the youth. We promote peer-to-peer training and exchanges and are always finding innovative ways to improving the lives of Alaska Native youth. For those who are just joining us, please let me know if you can hear me. As I mentioned earlier, you please make sure your audio system is set up to unmuted. And so we'll just go ahead and continue. You can also use a chat box if you want to relate to, if you have any questions, or if you would like to send a message to me, your host, or Ryan, your presenter for today, or to everybody. Just go ahead and select all panelists and attendees and share where you're calling in from, the organization, and how many people are with you. So today's guest presenter is Ryan Witten. He's the greenhouse manager from the Alaska Seeds of Change program. It is a huge privilege to have Ryan speak about his program in promoting youth skill building through employment and promoting a culture of self-development. Before we welcome Ryan Witten, if you have a question for him, please use the Q&A button located left of the chat. And don't hesitate to ask a question at the end of the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Pardon me, everyone. This is my first time using the Zoom.
Can I get a confirmation that folks are able to hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, Ryan.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Well, hi, my name is Ryan Witten, and I'm the greenhouse manager at Alaska Seeds of Change. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you all today. and tell you about the program and the work that we do here. So with that, why don't we get things started? Feel free to ask me questions as we're going through. I can try and answer those either in the presentation or at the end of the presentation, whichever is most convenient for you. Okay, could we go to the next slide, please?
Did that do it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see here. It looks like we're okay. Our mission is what I'm seeing right now.
You're looking at the resource basket mission?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. My apologies.
That's
I have
all okay. It's a good learning experience.
I have amazing coworkers who are trying to help me with this whole screen sharing. New share, there we go. Finals. Okay. Do you see that, everybody? Can you see
Excellent.
that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, if you can see it, everybody else can see it too. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone.
All right. As I was saying, my name is Ryan Witten, and I'm a greenhouse manager for Alaska Seeds of Change. We're a program of Anchorage Community Mental Health Services. Our goal is to serve youth between the ages of 16 to 24, and we do that through vertical hydroponics. So we have two core functions of our program, and that's growing food and supporting youth. Our mission is Alaska Seeds of Change employs and empowers local youth, promoting self-reliance and community involvement to grow and sell fresh produce. Next slide, please.
Can you see it?
No, I'm still on the mission slide.
It says it's currently on your slide 3, Alaska Seeds of Change.
I wonder if it's showing, instead of the presentation screen, if it's showing the PowerPoint screen. If you've got a dual monitor set up or a different window open.
Did that do it?
Hey, there we go. Excellent.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you. So this is a picture of our building. We're located at 704 West 26th Avenue, and we are right in the heart of Midtown. So we're on Arctic, off of Arctic between Fireweed and Northern Lights. It used to be just a gray building, and then we had a local artist, Sarah Davies, who came and volunteered her time and worked with youth in our program to create this beautiful mural, and it stretches around 3 sides of the building. So if you ever get a chance to come check us out, you'll get to see some more of the great work of hers and of our youth. All right, next slide, please.
Okay.
Thank you. So what is Alaska Seeds of Change? As I was saying, we have the 2 missions of growing food and supporting youth. We're a vocational education program, and we work with hydroponics as a way to help youth pick up skills and grow and improve themselves as individuals, hopefully change the trajectory of their life if they're interested in doing so. We mainly grow leafy greens and herbs. So we grow lots of lettuce, as you can see in that picture on the top. And then the bottom picture is a picture of our team and a picture of a portion of our growing system and our herb zone. So that's some basil that you're looking at behind the team there. If we were to give you just a rough estimate on numbers, we produce approximately 200 pounds of lettuce a week, with an additional 10 to 20 pounds of herbs to go along with that. It usually takes a ballpark of 6 weeks for that to happen. Herbs usually are a little bit longer than that, but lettuce is about 6 weeks, and we get about 2 to 3 pounds per tower. With our youth staff, we have got a team of apprentices, of core staff, and of a few youth leads who help make this system grow. And they're really the folks that make the system run. So we're really focused on our youth and helping them to build the skills and the confidence to run the system and to meet their own goals. Next slide, please. So at Seeds of Change, we grow a little bit differently here. We don't use dirt. We use these things called Q plugs, and they're a organic material and a polymer binder. It acts like a big earth sponge to absorb water and then provide a place for the plants to start growing. And so you can see that in the top picture. Each plug has a little hole in it. So we begin our plants by seeding, and we seed every week. Usually that happens on Mondays. We will seed lots of lettuce, lots of herbs. We will then put them into a germination chamber, which is like a seed sauna or a steam bath, and the seeds will grow. Usually it takes 2 to 3 days for them to germinate, and then they're ready to go into, we call it Sprout City, and it's a tented off area where our plants will then have another 2 weeks to grow before they get transplanted. And transplanting is what you're looking at the bottom picture on the left. So we'll take our plants that are in the plugs, we'll set them on that white strip is a recycled water bottle felt material, and that collects the water that drips from the top of the tower and then runs down to the bottom of the tower, and while it runs down it gives nutrients and water to each one of the plants that are placed in the tower. The black material that you're seeing is like almost like a Brillo pad made out of plastic, and that's just an additional media for the plants to grow into. So we actually don't use any dirt in our growing system. So our youth staff will take take the mesh, create a sandwich of the plugs in the middle, and then the wicking strip, and then the media, and they'll put that back into the white tower, which is the thing that you see on the left-hand side of that picture. They'll then put those towers into our system, and they sit in the carts, and that's where they spend between 6 to 12 weeks in carts growing. While they're growing, they get lots of attention. You know, we walk past them every day to make sure that they're getting the water that they need, that they are seeing if there's any pests or any problems that they have. So we really keep eyes on the plants. We then will harvest our plants, and so we'll pull the carts up to the front of our workspace and pull the towers out, harvest the lettuce and the herbs off of the towers, and then weigh it, package it, and then we'll sell it. And so all of our produce is sold to local restaurants through the Alaska Commercial Company, and there's some that's available direct to consumer. So while we are selling and taking care of our plants, we're also working to clean our system and maintain it so that we can keep this whole cycle going. So we're growing 365 days a year, and our plants are just constantly growing. We've got several seasons worth of plants in the system at one time, and it's almost like a big conveyor belt of produce, which is pretty nice in the middle of winter. Next slide, please. So here's a picture of our growing system. On the left-hand side, that's one of our zones. We have 3 zones. That zone that you're looking at happens to be one of our lettuce zones. Each of our zones has its own water supply, which is our picture in the middle. They call it an intermediate bulk container. And you can see on the container that it's got some different PVC plumbing. So we've got a couple filters, a UV filter, a pump that runs the water through the system. That's where all of our water and all of our nutrients is mixed for our plants. And our water constantly is getting pumped up along the tops of the zones, connected to the carts, drips down the towers, goes into the gutter, and then that gutter reconnects to the pump. And so then it gets pumped back into our main tank by a smaller pump. Nutrients get added, and then it goes back out into our growing system. The picture on the right-hand side is one of our lettuce rows. And in the middle of the row, we've got those white boxes hanging, and those are actually the lights for the plants. So the plants, they pick up light energy between in the red area and in the blue area, with a little bit of the white or green spectrum that gets used. But those lights move back and forth on a rail, and they run for 18 hours a day to give our plants the light and the energy that they need to grow and be healthy. And that purple color that you're getting is because of the light and the spectrum that they put out. Next slide, please. So while we grow food and we use hydroponics as a way to work with our youth, the big part of our program and our main focus is supporting our youth staff. And we do that in a number of ways. We do that by helping them build general life skills, whether that's sleep hygiene or personal hygiene. We help them with building job skills, so clocking in and going through the HR onboarding process and understanding what's expected of an employee while they're working. Cell phones should be put away. You shouldn't be using them while you're on the floor. If you're on the clock, we generally ask that you're working towards doing something instead of just hanging out. So just some of those real basic job skills. To help with some of the larger skills, we've built up a tool called the Personal Development Portfolio, and I'll detail that a little bit later. But the PDP, as we call it, is a binder of different worksheets for you to help them identify their goals and then work to meet their goals by picking up skills at Seeds of Change. One of the magic things about our work environment is that it's filled with a bunch of youth who are of the same age, and so they provide natural supports to each other, and they are all kind of learning and working through these things. And you have youth who are leading other youth who are fresh. The folks who have been working here for a bit are the mentors and the leads for the folks who just walked in the door. On site, we're able to provide access to mental health services. And so we have a clinician, we have 2 clinical associates, and they provide group services, they provide individual therapy sessions, and that's not a requirement to participate within the program, but it's just another resource that's available. Along with the mental health supports that we have another program of Anchorage Community Mental Health Services located in the building called Alaska Youth Advocates. And Alaska Youth Advocates is a drop-in center for youth between the ages of 13 to 23. They're able to receive help with housing. They can pick up hygiene products, they can pick up food, they can pick up clothing, and then it's also a safe space for them to take a break, to rest their feet, hang out, and so it's a drop-in center for our youth, both youth in the program and youth in the community. Next slide, please. So with all of those things combined, it helps to create a unique learning environment for our youth. Our tasks and our goals are unique to a hydroponic greenhouse with how specific they are, but on a larger level, those tasks are really applicable to other workplaces. The hydroponic growing is just an exciting way to pick up the skills. The youth staff here, they have their own voice, and we encourage them to use that voice and to build it and to help find it. And then we work with them to figure out the ways that they can get involved, and they can help make this place their own. And we really do have a focus on trying to be fun, trying to be open, and an accepting culture here. Our goal is that our folks feel safe, because if you're safe and you're having a good time, that makes it a lot easier to learn things. You're able to be more present. And that helps you pick up the skills and do the work that you'd like to do. All right, next slide. Thank you. So we really help focus within our skill development. There's some soft skills that get built up, and these are the things of problem solving. When we have a cart that breaks, how can you fix it? What tools do you need? What are the different ways? How do you work together to do that? We've got a team of people that work together to get our harvest completed and then packaged and out the door on time, to print the labels, to help communicate how they can help each other. So folks get to work as part of a nimble team. They get to practice their time management skills, because there's a lot of things that need to get done here. And so it's trying to figure out how to balance your time, to check the drip emitters to make sure that the plants are getting the water that they need, while you're also harvesting, while you're doing the cleaning, and somebody else is transplanting. So there's a lot of balancing and working together. To keep all of that working together, communication is key. And so we really help to practice just how do you communicate with team members. And it's a in the moment, in process experience for you to learn. Well, if I bark orders at somebody, it's probably not going to be as effective as if I ask them in a different way that's a little bit more open and accepting. And so along with doing the work and the time management, there's an acceptance that comes with that, of what are the responsibilities that I have and to my team, and how do we work together. Next slide, please. So to go along with those soft skills, there's also some hard skills that happen. So we do record keeping and data collection. And every day we walk through our system. Each one of the zones gets walked through at least twice. And we have a log that we check. So we're looking at the plants, we're looking at for pest indicators, we're looking for the drip emitters to make sure they're dripping on the plants and they're getting their water. We're looking at the nutrient levels in the tanks. We're looking at all the connections and lines are connected as they should be. And we're practicing our QuickBooks and our accounting and our money management skills through farmers markets and our online QuickBooks. We do all of our invoices through QuickBooks. And it's the youth who are creating those invoices. We practice our marketing and social media by posting to Facebook and Instagram. And our youth are involved in drafting the posts and deciding what it is that they'd like to post about and communicating that. It's a great way to build a little confidence and highlight the work that folks are doing. And I'll come back to that a little later. We give presentations in the community and get to practice public speaking. That could be at a Rotary Club meeting. That could be in Seeds of Change when we give tours to the public, or when we have workshops and work groups that come through. We practice workplace safety. So that can be using the right tool for the right job, keeping 3 points of contact on the ladder as you're climbing the ladder, using the proper personal protective equipment as you're mixing nutrients or performing the different tasks here. We practice our continuous process improvement, because we're Seeds of Change and we're always changing. And so we're always looking for different ways that we could improve our system, or we could rearrange our workspace and figure it out. And that helps our youth to practice the scientific process. They can form a hypothesis and then test that process here. It could be as simple as, well, I think if we were to connect our carts in this order, that would help us work more efficiently here. Or if we were to clean our carts in this way, I think that would be a better way for us to clean all the carts in a more efficient process. Next slide, please. So along with that idea of the continuous process improvement, we're also looking for ways to help our youth grow. And so our personal development portfolio is a tool that we are putting together, and we've got a number of worksheets that our youth go through. They help to set their goals. So we have one called Skills to Pay the Bills. And it's a worksheet for folks to say, well, what is it that I want to be doing? What is the career that I want to have down the road? And then how am I going to build the skills so that I can pay my bills? we ask our youth to write a personal job description and identify the work that they're doing so that they can see the skills that they're learning and growing. We ask youth to build a 30, a 60, and a 90-day goal so that they can see, well, here's where I'm at right now, here's how I'm going to build these skills and where I want to be at the end of a period of time. And then we help them to capture that through resume building workshops so that when they exit our program, they have a resume that they can take into the world, and hopefully before they exit, they can have their next employment lined up. And then we're always looking for feedback, doing self-evaluations, team evaluations, check-ins with supervisors. And that's part of our open workplace culture. So what's possible? Well, there's a number of ways that growing can happen in our state. That could be the picture on the left, which is a mobile farm wall. And so that could be in a classroom or in a Head Start program. That picture in the middle is a growing wall that's at the Anchorage Museum right now. And so we exchange towers and take care of the system for the museum as part of their What, Why, How We Eat exhibit. That picture on the right-hand side, that's two of our youth staff and a big wall of chard. And so the big goal that we have is that our communities, our state is able to be food secure and have access to fresh produce, and that there are more people who are able to grow here. And that possibility is made possible because of our youth staff and because of the skills that they learn and because of the work that we hope to do in our communities by helping others. So some of these folks have gone through our program and then connected with additional skill, like workforce development programs. Job Corps in the Valley is one example. Other folks have gone on to work at other community greenhouses and other growers in the state. We have had folks that have picked up skills with us and then gone into medical billing and gone into maintenance. And so we have a number of different ways. Our goal is not that we prescribe this is where you're going to go and what you're going to do and what we think you need. Our goal is to say, who are you? What is the work that you want to do? How can we help you get there? Next slide, please. So Alaska Seeds of Change, if you're wondering what we're up to, we've got the akseedsofchange.com website. You're welcome to come for a tour or a workshop and visit us. And you can also come and volunteer to pick up some skills here with volunteer at akseedsofchange.com. And if you have a mind to, you're welcome to make a donation. We appreciate any support. It helps our youth staff it helps us to work with more youth. Well, thank you. Are there any questions I could answer at this time? Hi, Shauna. So Shauna asked, what is the process for youth to get enrolled in our program? So there's a number of ways that youth can participate in our program. The majority of youth that we work through are apprentices, and we're serving as a work site for a partner community organization. So a few of those organizations are McLaughlin Youth Correctional Facility, 9 Star, Cook Inlet Tribal Council's Tribal Vocational Rehabilitation Program. So those programs have connections with youth, and they're looking for places in the community that they can build skills, and we are a work site for those programs. It is possible for youth to volunteer with us as well. That's a great way for youth to learn more about our program and see if it's a good fit for them. And then youth are able to apply directly on the ACMHS job posting website. ACMH's website has a job posting link on it. And so there's a greenhouse grower position. I will say that we have a number of folks that are very excited to work with our program who have also previously volunteered or who have participated in an apprentice program with us. And so we end up pulling the majority of our folks from those programs. But it is possible to work with us just through applying. Does that help answer your question? So I'd just like to note that we grow in a pretty large warehouse. We've got about 8,000 square feet worth of growing space and about 1,500 towers. And that's one way that growing can look in our state, but that there are lots of different ways to grow. And it could be as simple as having having a small table in your classroom, or if you have space in a spare room or a closet, or there's all sorts of different methods and that I've seen, from using 5-gallon buckets to using fish tanks with some blue board on top and some plants sitting in nutrient water that's in the fish tank. So I'm just excited to see how other people are able to grow in the state and how it can help their own community. So I've posted my email address in the webinar chat. If you have any follow-up questions for me, or you think of something later, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Before I go, is there any other questions I could answer? Well, thank you all for your time today. It's been nice to talk to you, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Ryan. Can everyone still hear me? Go ahead and say yes in your chat box if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us and having the opportunity to learn about the Alaska Seeds of Change program in supporting the youth. A huge thanks to Ryan. Please help us improve our future webinar experience by taking a short question survey via the SurveyMonkey. We will provide a link below and a QR code in our resource basket trainings website. So to use the QR code, you can just go ahead and use your iPhone and just scan it over the code like you're taking a picture, hold it for a few seconds, and then the link will automatically pop up. You want to make sure that your phone is not in airplane mode. So you need to have your phone on, either through your Wi-Fi or through your AT&T plan. So yeah, please send it. For those who weren't there, please send it on to anyone that was in the room with you during this presentation. The survey link and other supplemental resources will also be on our website. And as I mentioned earlier, for those who are not able to be present for the webinar, we have saved a recording of this webinar along with the presentation, and a transcript will be posted on our website. And that includes the chat box. And you will also have access to this on our YouTube channel in the next few days. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for future webinars, please send us an email at resourcebasket@ruralcap.com. This concludes our webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday.